Hi, my name is Chris Doohan. I play Scotty on Star Trek Continues.
Chris, it's such a pleasure to have you here today, and I'm really excited to talk to you. I really loved your work on the Star Trek Continues vignettes and cannot wait to see you bring Mr. Scott back to the small screen in Pilgrim of Eternity. Can you tell me how you got involved in this project?
Initially, I was contacted by Vic, and he said, "Chris, I got a project I really need to talk to you about." And I met him for lunch in Hollywood, and he presented this Star Trek Continues to me. And he says, "Chris, I really, really want you to play your father's role. I want you to play Scotty." And at first I was taken aback. I said, "Well, that's a tough shoes to fill." Yeah. And I didn't give him a definitive yes, because I was a little worried about, first off, the Scottish accent. I mean, even though I played around with it a little bit. But after, talking to my family about it, I said, here's what it is, and Scotty, and this and that, and they were, my whole family was overwhelmingly just saying, "Go for it, that'd be great." I said, "I got to work on my Scottish accent first, and then you tell me what you think at that point." And so I called Vic, and I said, "Why don't we meet again?" And I said, "I'd do it." And I'm not looking back. It's so far, we've done the vignettes, we're filming our first episode of Pilgrim of Eternity right now, and it's all going very well. It's very exciting. We've got some great cast members. I love every one of them. They're all very talented actors, and I'm probably the only one who's not a professional actor when it comes right down to it.
Was this your first time in front of the camera as an actor?
First, when I was very young, I was on Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It was just an extra in that big crowd scene, and no talent involved. Required. I just sat there. I think I was 19 years old, just looking like this. And they got a couple close-ups, so it's kind of fun to see me. I was probably almost 200 pounds at that point, maybe a little more.
200 pounds? What?
Yeah, 200 pounds, and of course I was standing next to my twin brother, Monty, and he's very slim, so I really looked fat. But I was easy to pick out in the crowd. So that was really my first experience of being on any type of a set doing anything. Yeah. Many years later, I heard this show going, it's sort of like a Star Search thing, called Your Big Break, a Dick Clark production. And then I really didn't do much acting, except I did a little biography piece for Danny Bonaducci, who was a childhood friend. And then we heard that they were going to do a new Star Trek, with a different cast, in Star Trek 2009. And a lot of people online were trying to get me to be the next Scotty. A lot of people on Facebook and whatnot, they say, "You'd be perfect for the next Scotty." And I kind of rolled with it. I said, "It'll be fun." Truthfully, I knew I could not be the next Scotty in the movie. They wanted somebody well-known, whatnot, probably a lot younger than me. I think Simon Pegg is probably 10 years younger than I am. So I knew that wouldn't happen, but it was kind of fun, and the fans were really great to get behind me and try to get me to be the next Scotty. But because of the fan reaction, because of what the fans did, it caught J.J. Abrams' eye. And so he brought me in. I was driving home from work, and I got a call on my cell phone, and it was the casting director. And she said, "Chris, you want to be in Star Trek 2009? I almost crashed. I went, "What?" And I didn't. At that point, I thought, I'm just going to be in the movie. They're just going to give me a little part. This is great. And she says, "Yeah, we're going to set up an audition for you." Oh no, an audition. I don't even know the first thing to do in an audition. And so audition day comes, and they said, it's just no stress. Just come in there. We'll give you the side, the lines you need to read. So I get there, and they hand me the side, and I looked at it, and I said, "Oh, this is easy. It's little things like, like a helmsman might say, like, 'Yes, Captain, warp speed, da 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 da.' Very, maybe a few lines, nothing dramatic, nothing terribly crazy." And I thought, okay, I got this down. I got this memorized. No big deal. This is easy. This is a blast. So my anxiety level started going down. I felt better about it. I was sitting on the stairs, just going over my lines, and I hear this, Chris Doohan. I went over there. "We gave you the wrong side." I went, "What?" So she says, "Here's your thing. Hey, here's your side." I look at it. It doesn't sound like a lot, but there's probably 50, 60 words of dialogue. And you want to be prepared, right? And I knew they were just about to call me in. I didn't even get through half of it before they called me in. So it was a completely dry. Suddenly my anxiety level just went, just going crazy. And I made a complete fool of myself, bottom line. So I knew, I said, there's no way I'm ever going to be in this movie. And months went by, and I thought, well, obviously, I wouldn't have called me back. And they called back and said, we want you in. And I was an extra, so you can't mess things up too bad. So anyway, I did that, had a great time, got to meet Simon Pegg, got to meet the rest of the crew. The cast. J.J. Abrams was an amazing director. I mean, he really was. And I can say this now that I'm actually in the new Star Trek coming out, Star Trek Into Darkness. And the only reason I can say it is because I just looked at IMDb and my name was there, so it's out. I can say that.